Rage doesn't end up dying. So this game might be one of those situations where this 10th pick Morphling ends up working out for the side of Simply 2Based. And they absolutely needed to, because remember, everybody at home, whoever loses this matchup is guaranteed to be the first team relegated from Division 2. This DPC run will end in tears for them, and they do not want that to be their outcome. However, no matter who wins, it's still not a guarantee of staying in the division. They're still relying on results from Team Dogchamp and Arkosh Gaming. So your fate is not in your own hands, but at the very least, you'll still have a chance. This game is the last opportunity. Wingblade, now that we've seen both of these drafts, who do you like more? Give me a prediction for this opening game one.
That's difficult, man. Because I really like the Lifestealer. I feel like he's underrated. I feel like this is a hero that has a lot of potential in this meta, but it's such a shit matchup against Morphling. So I don't think in good conscience that I can bet against the Morphling.
In good conscience, I sort of refuse to bet for Morphlings. So let's see how it goes. 1-1 split between us. And this fight gets avoided because Empyrean gets off a very good Observer Ward. Will be instantly dewarded. However, he has made sure that Nico will not get quickly ganked at the early portion of the game. Will allow his team to stack up for these bottom bounty runes. All right, that's what you want to see from Empyrean. That's what you want to see from your support player. Prepared to put his body and some wards on the line to ensure your life. Good stuff from the Snapfire. It'll be interesting to see how he's able to conduct himself in the early game. That's the one thing that they really have in spades on the side of Happy Seals. The fact that this support Tiny can just show up and make a dramatic impact on this mid lane in the way that the Snapfire nor the Zeus can't really accomplish on the other side. So a lot of this early game, it feels like it's going to be locked behind the progress of this R2 of Tiny here, Wingblade.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be a big playmaker. Morphling doesn't have a lot of counters in this game, but if a Tooth gets a good start, they do have some kill potential.
Yeah, really putting some pressure out onto the Morphling early on, forcing him back into a position where the Dawnbreaker is just going to continue to farm the wave. She did go for the early Celestial Hammer. She'll get the Starbreaker quite soon, so her laning stage is going to be quite nice. All right, Wingblade, I haven't crossed with you in a while, so as the conductor of chaos, tell me, where are we going to be getting the first kills in this game?
Right. My money is going to be on the top lane, I think. We have a defensive support, so that's unlikely. Mid is Ember versus Kunkka, so we shouldn't see any kills there. And top has a low HP Morphling, it has a Tiny with boots. I mean, it has to be top, right?
You say that, but Dota is a weird and wonderful game, my friend. So we'll see how things go. Mark, mid lane, he might be the one that ends up dying here to Nico. It came very close, 48 HP.
Jeez.
The Kunkka in a very good pace right now. He is doing decently in the CS, forcing out this Ember Spirit to get a bit back. You love to see it, and this is kind of why you picked this, but you baited me. You were pointing out this Ember is about to die, so we lost out on actually seeing the correct prediction. You were right the first time around, that this Morphling ends up losing his life in the top lane. Empyrean not nearby enough to provide support. That is a very, very painful way to start this game for the Morph.
Yeah, it's not great. He just has 3 CS as well, Mark. Please stop almost dying. Jeez.
He's making the game exciting, fam.
The Fatal Bonds bottom as well, putting some pressure onto Aframush.
This spell is honestly a little bit too good, in my opinion. As much as I love this hero, I do feel that it needs a bit more tweaking to make it a bit more fair and balanced. But Dota is not a fair and balanced game, so it's all good.
Are you suggesting Voidlock nerfs? That's cruel.
The opposite, fam. I want buffs on this hero. We were actually talking about it earlier today, and one of the ideas was having Fatal Bonds apply a mini stun every time you take damage during the duration.
Oh, that sounds awful. That's like the old headshot.
Oh, it'd be so fun to play, honestly. It would make Warlock even more enjoyable than he is right now.
I am very happy you're not in charge of balancing Snare.
Trust me, you and most of the Dota community right now Everybody's happy at this. Speaking of happy, top lane, Morphling, has he found a bit more happiness? He's getting there. 9 CS right now, so slowly but surely climbing out of the pit that he was in earlier. Still not easy though. Things are still quite difficult for him as it stands. Oh, middle. Mark, is Mark about to die again? No, he's fine.
Mark is about to die constantly.
He's living life on the edge, man. How much
This is
regen is he
why
brought out
they
to this
picked
lane?
the Kunkka.
Yep. This last pick, Kunkka. When did they pick it? Last pick was their Morphling. They went for it fourth. Yeah. Second to last pick.
Yeah, Ember
demolishing the
with
lane.
his low armor just... there is nothing he can do against the constant Lightbring Ice.
Not really all that much that's possible for him. Top lane, Aaron. Ooh, okay, it's just morphing. Every time I see this morphling get very low, I get a little bit skittish considering the amount of damage that can come out from the side of Happy Seals. So he needs to be careful. He needs to make sure that he doesn't put himself into too threatening positions.
Especially now that Tip has a Soul Ring coming up. Means he can start spamming the Celestial Hammer.
Aaron goes forward with the waveform here. He might put himself in danger here. Starbreaker will come out after the Celestial Hammer, but Atuf doesn't even want to bother throwing in the spells. Realizes that Morphling at that point will be a little bit too strong. If he was level 4, might have gone for it, but with just level 1 toss, no real point committing all the way. So we'll decide to just let it go. Oh, they're going for it now though. Aaron in danger. Morphing for safety. Will he get himself away here? Doesn't have enough mana for a waveform. 3-1 charges, but Empyrean provides the salvation with the Snapfire quickly. Even forcing back Teeb, who came very close to dying. This aggression in the top lane is not going to stop Wingblade. They really want to make life as difficult for this Morphling as possible.
Needs to be careful because they have a ward here and Atuf doesn't have mana for his combo. Have been a kill if he did.
What level is this Ember Spirit actually? Ember Spirit's level 5. Once he cracks 6, maybe he's going to be the one that moves top. This is another impact from how well this Kunkka's doing, right? The fact that his doing well in this mid lane, preventing the Ember Spirit from getting off to a decent enough start, that he can't head out onto these forays to go kill, makes life a lot easier for him.
Ooh,
Speaking of
Atuf.
kills, top lane, Atuf might be the one in danger this time around, and Aaron will be able to right-click him down. Okay, there's some of the recovery that you need. You might not be getting the lane CS that you ultimately wanted, but you still get some gold from killing a support.
Yeah, he's back on track. He has the same net worth as Double King now, so it's all good. It's all good.
What build do you want to see out of him this game for the Morphling? I'm imagining that he just wants some raw damage, so I can see him going like what? Yasha, BKB, Daedalus?
Ooh, Salacious
What do you
Sea
think?
Lion. It's gonna go down. Yeah, something like Manta, BKB at some point. Doesn't really need a Lincoln's. So just the basic agility carry items. That's all he needs.
Just basic normal stuff. He just needs to
Rip
normal
Tip.
punch people. Top lane, they're actually going to get Tip brought very, very low. They've lost out on the life of the Snapfire. However, the first rotation coming in from Nico might not be done just yet though. Looking towards Atuf as well. No access to the X marks. And Atuf able to just juke this one out. Steal some bounties on the way out as well. What a player. And he's gone. He's done the grand swipe. Grand Theft Bounty gets away with it. Sure, they end up losing out on Tib, but you expect that at some point this Kunkka was going to go top to help out. It's not the worst thing in the world to lose out on this Dawnbreaker, but still very, very good for the 2-base lineup to get Kunkka involved in these early rotations and allow him to be getting net worth from hero kills as well.
Let's see, a Fatal Bond on a full HP. Mars next to a creep wave. Let's see how much damage this is.
All right, let's
60. 100. 125 damage. Some more thing, guys, but you know, priorities.
We were looking at the important things on the map. Carry Morphling dying, who cares about that? Aaron loses his life in the top lane. It's quite unfortunate that the Morphling finds himself dying yet again. Atuf just been doing the Lord's work and he's going to continue to do said work. Tossing back the Empyrean Snapfire, enabling Tib to get yet another kill. Okay. We thought that he was going to have a high impact in this game, but we were expecting most of that impact to come from him moving around. It turns out the kills will just come to him here, Wingblade. He's having an amazing start to life.
I wonder if this offlane Dawnbreaker is still gonna go for the Holy Locket.
Oh, they're not done just yet. They're not going to let this stop whatsoever. Aaron is not going to find safety in this lane. Going to have to start thinking about where else to farm. Got access to the Morbid Mask here. Needs to be careful, especially because this Ember Spirit does now have level 6. They're not letting this pressure go. Aaron still being forced back underneath the tower, not being allowed to get any CS here, Wingblade. Putting out so much pressure, but they will not bring in the Mars to try and alleviate that pressure. Dawnbreaker throws in the Solar Guardian, catches out this Tiny to heal him up. Mars instead now getting thrown back. Can't maintain this pressure. Empyrean finds a very nice fire snap quickie onto these ranged creeps. Oh, it was actually onto the melee creep. Ultimately, though, just going to be good enough to force them away from the fight. So we do not get anything happening in this top lane. A little bit unfortunate. Oops, sorry about that, Edward. A bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's fine. Mars, that's very sad, though. You make your first big rotation, you throw out your first arena, and you get nothing out of it. That's not what you wanted out of this, Mars.
This is why people pick Dawnbreaker against Mars. Just because every time you see the arena coming down, you just instantly pop the Solar Guardian. And then it completely nullifies the effects. Dota2. Getting a bit low, but he's gonna be fine.
We were trying to make a go onto this Ember Spirit in this mid lane. Unfortunately, Nico could not find the range for the X. And I think Ember, that's going to be his cue to maybe vacate this part of the map. Now he doesn't get the power rune, so he can't really make the rotation. Top lane. Toof will now end up dying to Aaron, as they also reveal the Thunder God's Wrath from the Zeus. So this Morphling getting a lot of help in this game. His team realizes exactly how big of a win condition he is. Mid lane. They're looking for Nico here. He's underneath the auspices of the Fatal Bonds. X marks the spot, will drag back Mark, who's not the highest on the HP. Needs to be a little bit careful about this. But neither side truly believes they can actually get a kill, so they'll just let it go. And everything's a-okay.
Nice D-Wood for Afro as well.
Top lane, they're coming for Aaron. They really want this kill.
Again.
Atuf gets an avalanche toss yet again. Sally Hammer coming forward.
Close.
They can't find the range to get off the Starbreaker from Tib. So that will be Aaron allowed to escape with his life. But this pressure on the Morphling still just being constantly reapplied. They are just never going to let him get any rest in this lane.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they recognize that this Morph is a problem, and with the build that Atuf went for, with both the Arcane Boots and the Ring of Basilius, they do have the ability to put on a lot of pressure. Like, they don't have to go to base very often with Dawnbreaker Tiny, so they can just stay in this lane forever.
Nobody is wanting to break down this laning phase, though. Everybody's just staying in the lane forever. People just chilling. Speaking of lanes, we have to be fair, though. Talk about the most boring lane in the map. Right now, Double King, farming down bottom. Has the full armlet at the ready. Going for the S&Y Basher. Or the Halberd Basher build, actually. I mean, he is playing into the Morphling, so he recognizes that getting some form of disarm is going to be super value here. Do you like the build overall from the Morph? Or from this Lifestealer?
I'm not a huge fan, but I guess he does have the Ember as a scaling hero as well. So it's not the end of the world. I would have liked him to maybe go for more carry items. Something like the zap. Down goes to something like the Deso to really hit people hard, but I guess he's not too afraid. Not having enough damage.
Mid lane, he's actually going to get involved though. Showing himself in the middle. Comes in with the chaotic offering from the Warlock to try and prevent this Lifestealer from just rushing forward. They turn around with the Mars ultimate as well as the Snapfire raining down the kisses. Here comes Tib though. Can't find the range for the Starbreaker. But still with the Celestial Hammer closes the gap enough to kill the Snapfire. It's a 1-1 trade so far, but they've lost out on the mid hero. They need a lot more out of this. Not going to be able to find it, however. As this Mars able to escape away. Dude, this Zeus player, Afromush actually just saved so much. Him throwing out that big ultimate in the top lane to kill the Tiny gave them information that Ember Spirit was off the map because he was rotating top. They would have 100% killed Morphling. and then he's not actually around middle to take this chaotic fight. Yet again, Dota 2, game of margins, and this margin very favorable for the side of Simply TOOBASED. And they allow themselves to take a first decisive fight around this mid lane here, Wingblade.
Kunkka survived by the skin of his teeth there because of the boat buff. And then he had fatal bonds on him. But every time it procced, he would just heal up like slightly enough to not die. It's really close. And now they have an Orchid on Kunkka.
Yep. Gonna try and reveal this onto the Ember Spirit if they can. X-Marks is ready. And Mark gonna get caught out by this. There's gonna be the Orchid play. Will they be able to drag him back in time? Got him! Should die from this. And that's gonna be more than enough damage provided in by Nico. Big kill and a big reveal on the Orchid. At the same time though, the squad needs to show up in the top lane because there is a fight onto Aaron. Yet again, they're trying to chase him down. This Lifestealer looking to try and rise in the tower. But here comes the Mars. Gets in the ultimate. They catch out this Lifestealer. He's caught on the edge of this. Dawnbreaker with the Solar Guardian will buy him space and time. He's still alive for now. A Tooth comes in. Avalanche toss onto Sabo. Will also provide a vehicle for the Lifestealer to invest into. They kill the Mars now. Snapfire Cookie comes in onto Tib. Ends up losing his life on the Dawnbreaker here. Waveform down by Aaron and the crew. 1-1 trade in the top lane. Both offlaners dying. Nico also showing his presence here, trying to catch somebody out with the X marks the spot. Will not be able to do so, however. So the team fight will end up just ending and petering out in this top lane. Yet again, these heroes moving all across the map for engagements, but nobody claiming objectives in the aftermath here, Wingblade. It's been all action, but no objectives just yet.
Yeah, and they trade 1-for-1, but somehow TOOBASED gets a 700 gold advantage from that. Just because Tip had a bit of a streak going on. Speak of the devil, Seals is getting the tier 1 top.
Long last, man. 15 minutes in before we see the first tower on these side lanes falling. Not something that you're accustomed to seeing generally these days, but given the importance of this game, not surprised that everybody is being a bit more skittish than usual. Speaking of skittishness, Atu finds himself in the presence of Nico and Empyrean silenced up, cannot utilize any of his spells to get himself out of danger, and Nico claiming yet another kill on the map. This Orchid has been working wonders for him in this early portion of the game, and after this you just go straight BKB, I imagine, right?
I think so, yeah. This Orchid is so good because it counters both the Ember Spirit as well as the Lifestealer. Because both don't really want to buy any, like, Dispel. I guess Mark is buying a BKB. It's kind of needed this game, but
yeah.
You don't buy a BKB this early and feel good about it on an Ember.
First item BKB. Yeah, it's not even getting a Maelstrom or anything. Oof, it's a little bit rough. What can we do? Just have to deal with the situation as it stands. Oh, might have a small engagement happening in this bottom side of the map here. Let's see. Arena gets popped out. Starbreaker gonna be not utilized because Tib just tried to TP home, leaving a Tooth to die here, but unfortunately will not be allowed to leave. They have enough stuns to interrupt the TP, and they have enough damage to get the kill. Aaron pulls off a double on the Morphling. And it's starting to work out here, Wingblade. This Lifestealer is just free farming on the map, not really getting involved in some of these fights, except for the one that we saw in the top lane. But unfortunately for him, Aaron is getting quite a lot of net worth out of some of these engagements. And the natural counter is starting to get stronger and stronger as time goes on.
Let's see if the Warlock can survive this with the Infest. The answer is no. Actually, Double King wasn't inside the Warlock, never mind.
Think Double King's gonna put his own life on the line for a Warlock? No, my friend. Someone's getting left behind to hang. It's gotta be Warlock.
Feels bad. That's the life of a salacious sea lion. It's rough.
SSL.
We spoke about it briefly, but Nico almost has his BKB now, and I have no idea how this Kunkka is ever gonna die.
BKB Orchid. Honestly, BKBs in general for Simply TOOBASED feel super strong this game. So once he gets the double BKB between himself and the Morphling, I have no idea how they take team fights at all on the side of the Happy Seals. Unfortunately for them, For TOOBASED, that is. There's still some time before that massive power spike. So they need to try and win this portion of the game out. And they're playing aggressively bottom to try and achieve that. They find a Tooth, but they're not going to dive him. Instead, they're looking towards Mark. Solar Guardian will come in for more damage onto Empyrean as well. They're looking at Aaron, surrounding him with 3 heroes here. Big arena coming in from the Mars. Not going to be enough damage to bring down the Smurfling just yet. They're chasing him though.
Hits.
The Lifestealer will be able to bring him down at the very end. Toss now from the Tiny, throwing the Lifestealer back towards Afromush to try and chase down the Zeus. Not going to be able to do so just yet. Will they find him? Afromush, yep, he distracts them, puts his body on the line, enables them to kill him. All right, great fight coming in from the Happy Seals here. And good damage as well from this Warlock Fatal Bonds, doing quite a bit of work in that team fight.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And when Morphling does get to high strength, that is when Lifestealer starts having a good time.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Okay, Nico. Gonna
BKB
be forced to
pops.
reveal the BKB here, the first one of the game, but he's just using it defensively to get out of this fight. Doesn't want any of the smoke. Unfortunately though for the Mars, he doesn't have the luxury of having a BKB just yet. With Fatal Bonds atop him, he'll just get chased down. Empyrean right behind, but can't really do anything to assist him. At the same time, the team has managed to take down the tier 1 tower. Everything going right at this stage of the game, at least for the side of Happy Seals. Big team fight victory. You're pushing objectives on the map. They're not going to let this game slow down any further here, Wingblade. They understand that they are on a bit of a timer. You cannot let this Morphling get too big. Mid lane, they also catch out the Zeus. And that'll enable them to get the tier 1 tower middle as well. This has been an astonishing 90 seconds for the side of Happy Seals.
Yeah, for sure. And now Mark also has his BKB finished. So he's no longer gonna die to Kunkka. Double King closing in on his Basher. It's like you said, things are looking up for the Happy Seals.
Let's see what the counterplay option is going to be here from the side of Simply TOOBASED. They have a Blink Dagger available on the Mars, so they could decide to try and smoke up somewhere. Empyrean also nearby. I'm not sure if they'd have the damage if they came across one of the beefier targets. And unfortunately, Nico not going to scout out the Dawnbreaker either. Ships in the night between the two heroes. Nico with BKB did find out that he's not 100% immortal in that last fight, so can't be cavalier about his movements. But mostly they need this tier 1 tower bottom, right? It's been alive for too long, granting way too much map control to the side of the Happy Seals. But they want to defend this here when played. They're coming in for this fight. Ember Spirit jumping in first, looking for the Mars, gets silenced almost immediately by Nico. Still jumping in with the BKB though. Beautiful steering chains on the 2. Zeus gonna be the first casualty of this fight. Kunkka trying to BKB TP out. He will be allowed to leave. The same might not be true for his allies though. Empyrean will end up getting brought down. Steering chains catches him out. Double King right clicks him down. And that's a further 2 heroes taken away by the Happy Seals.
The 600 damage Flame Guide absorb is really putting in work right now. Mike is really tanky with just a BKB and Orb of Corrosion.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
At the same time,
fight
it feels
also-
like Aaron just doesn't have the impact he wants to right now. Being forced to run away in most of the fights. He just needs his Skadi and then a BKB and then he can start doing stuff.
His team looks like they want to try and back him up to enable him to do stuff with some aggressive movement. Afromush waiting in the trees with the smoke. They clear out some of these camps. And where's the Mars? Mars is not nearby, but they still go for this play anyway. They will rely on Nico to lead the charge. Who can they come across? They find a Tooth, who does not have a BKB, so he's just going to end up dying here. Woo! Blown up from Aaron. That must have felt very, very satisfying, given what a thorn this Tiny has been in his backside this game.
Radiant are scanning.
At least he already had his blink on Tiny. So losing gold doesn't really matter because this Tiny is 6 slotted.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh, lol. They're gonna come for this fight down bottom though. They're not gonna let this go for free. Yet again, they come across the Smars first. No BKB available for him. BKB from Mark though comes in and will enable them to start slowly whittling down the HP of the Smars. At the same time, Lifestealer chasing away the rest of the lineup pretty much by himself. just posting up and saying, I dare you to challenge me, and none of them will take him up on that challenge. And that's just going to be them yet again forcing a fight down bottom. Although this time around the tower does eventually end up falling.
They got what they came for. They lost the mice in the process. Not a huge deal.
Boat thrown in middle from Nico. They're trying to bring down this Dawnbreaker, throwing in a ton of ultimates for her, and they will be able to eventually get the kill. Mark looking for revenge, jumping in. BKB not at the ready. This is a dangerous place to be, but with the backup of Double King, he feels a lot more safe as Double King reveals this basher in the fight by running down the Snapfire. At the same time, Tiny also wants to get involved. Was looking for a tossback target. Not going to be able to find anybody, though. It's just going to be a straight-up 1-for-1 kill. Several ultimates committed, so Happy Seals, they know that they have this advantage. BKB is back now for Mark, so they can re-engage. They feel very confident about this. Will they find anything up the hill? No, they will not. Aaron breaks the smokes there. Double King. Gonna get scouted out by the Zeus, but they don't want to force this fight from simply TOOBASED. They know exactly how much magic damage that they are dealing with on the side of Happy Seals, so they will decide to let this one go.
Double King is gonna be going for a Skadi next. It's quite nice against Morphling, but he's still gonna be vulnerable to the Orchid. One could consider getting a Satanic as well, because that's a nice way for strength heroes to get a Dispel. But I don't really mind the Skadi. I feel like dealing with Morphling is gonna be his job in fight, so might as well get a Skadi.
Smars not having the best game of his life. Absolutely needs BKB and might not be allowed to get it because his life may just be forfeit here. They know he's in the vicinity, but they're not able to find the vision just yet. And he backs off behind the tier 2 tower. It's going to keep him safe for now. As this Conker also has shown up. He wants to try and apply pressure back himself. Building into a Hex next to complement the control build that he's going for right now. And they're still going to try and look for something here. Has the X. They're looking for Double King. The silence is out. They get the Torrent, but there's also going to be a Dawnbreaker ultimate. But it's not going to be enough. They have enough damage to kill the Lifestealer. Double King is gone. Mark looking for revenge with the BKB being active, but can't find a target to stick onto and dish out enough damage. And Aaron actually manages to catch out the Ember Spirit on the far edge of the fight. They bring him down. Tib also follows them into the grave. A double for the Mars. Huge fight happening for Simply TOOBASED. Once again, Nico unlocking the aggression here for Simply TOOBASED. That Orchid, that's the first time he uses it on the Lifestealer. And now what a time to be alive. What a time to kill the Lifestealer. That's going to enable them to come back on the map.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed to do. They knew that the Golem was still down and they just unloaded over this poor Lifestealer. Would be nice if after the BKB, Pip could get himself a Lotus Orb.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, we're starting to get to the dangerous point, Wingblade. Up until now, it's been possible for them to fight with this Lifestealer. But Aaron is slowly but surely getting to the point where he can present a meaningful challenge. Skadi is coming soon. After that, we're going to have the Chrysalis. And is this going to be a farming Aegis across the map where they just utilize it to get these next round of items?
I think so. I don't think Simply TOOBASED is really in a rush. Because they know they have this good carry matchup and their Kunkka is farming really well. So they're like, maybe we'll get like a tier 2, but I don't think they're gonna be gathering up, trying to go high ground or anything.
Smoke up by the Happy Seals, the Tooth and the boys. They have a passenger inside this Tiny and they want to find a big target, and that big target's going to be Nico. Pops BKB very early on though. At the same time, they quickly manage to find the Snapfire and kill her. Nico now in danger. The BKB is no longer active. Will he be able to get away from this one? He does have a boat that he's thrown out for the Coco Rum buff, but it's not going to be enough when you're surrounded by several heroes. They will be able to get a double kill on this Ember Spirit. A Tooth was looking for more on the edge of the fight, not going to be able to find anybody. All right, Happy Seals still showing that they have this potential all across the map, Wingblade. These major kill combinations. They can bring down even these tanky heroes like the Kunkka at this point.
The Double King Basher is so nice in this situation because Kunkka knows that he cannot TP out. Also, looks like Double King is queuing up a BKB now.
I think he has to. Either that or Manta. This Orchid's a bit too dangerous
Or
right now.
Satanic.
He could go Satanic. I could see it. Ton more strength. But I feel like if he just gets BKB, his rationale is probably that the only ways he dies in these fights is if he gets caught without BKB. And now top lane, he does get the rage off. So they do not find the Nico silence. BKB forced out of the Mars, so he has to flee away. But Mark is already on the other side of the team fight, looking for a way to catch up. Will he be able to get more Searing Chains? Not finding one just yet. Aaron jumping back in with the Zeus ultimate, and they burst down this Ember Spirit. They're looking to try and bring down this Lifestealer as well. Afromosh does die in the middle of the fight towards Tib and this Warlock Golem. Now, will they be able to get Tib out with this Lifestealer? Doesn't seem like it. The 5-snap cookie stuns out this Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker is going to die, and with the silence out, they almost got this Lifestealer. Atoof buys time, but the X came out first. Atoof did what he could with 4 heroes caught inside of his Avalanche, and he manages to TP away from the fight. But ultimately, it's too little, too late. Team TOOBASED yet again take another strong team fight, bringing down all 3 cores on the side of Happy Seals.
It really wasn't the fight. And Morphling is starting to get into a position where he's gonna be scary. Now overtaken Double King, working towards an MKB actually. So
look at this right-click damage that comes out of the Morphling. It's so good in these kind of situations, as we saw in that replay, where you don't have to worry about Kunkka's contribution to the fight outside of just control, right? He's doing his job just by making sure these heroes have a rough time moving in the fight. And once he gets this Hex, like, if Lifestealer, what does he do once there's Hex and Orchid and all of these other spells? Life just becomes really, really difficult. You were mentioning earlier Dawnbreaker should start building maybe a Lotus Orb. I fully agree with you. I'm not really a fan of this upcoming Basher from her. They need the additional defense on the team.
yeah, if everything goes according to plan, your Lifestealer should be the one dealing damage. Like, you don't need your Dawnbreaker to, like, stun people with the Basher. You need to enable the Lifestealer. Because he already has one.
All right.
Smoke now from TOOBASED. They still have 40 seconds of Aegis left, and they want to utilize it.
They also want to reveal this Hex on the Kunkka. Who is going to be the unlucky victim here? Double King in a bit of an awkward position. Sabo does have the high ground positioning, but thankfully it's going to be Atoof that tanks this gank. Solar Guardian coming in here, so they maybe want to try and turn around on this fight. Mark on the edge of it will find out the Snapfire, so no additional damage. So it's 1-for-1 trade so far. Buyback coming in from Atoof. As Tib, with the assistance of Double King, they're trying to go onto Nico here, but they're realizing that Atune is going to be a huge, huge problem. Nico getting ran down. The damage is going to be enough. Finally, Afromush will throw out the Thunder God's Wrath as Aaron now on the high ground. It's a 1v1 fight with him and Morphling, but surprise! There's backup for the Lifestealer. He'll find himself surrounded by these Happy Seal heroes. It's going to be a double kill for Double King. Huge, huge fight for them, bringing down the Morphling. There is buyback available for Morph, but not for the Kunkka here. And that's going to enable them to push down this mid lane.
And this is one of the reasons why position for Tiny is pretty darn good these days. They initiated on him, but with the Solar Guardian healing, it took so long to kill Atoof. And at the same time, Happy Seal's already killed Empyrean.
This fight, oh. Just look at the Tiny here. He comes back, just waits on the wings for his opportunity. And once they kill Nico, he realizes all he has to do is just stop Mars from being able to reinitiate into this fight. And then suddenly he's created the opportunity. Life is so good for them right now. And they're trying to force this tier 3 tower in this mid lane, and presumably a buyback or two if available. But they are not available. Kunkka back in 17 seconds. But Morphling, at this point, you really don't want to have to buy back. But you're at this awkward situation here, Wingblade. While we are paused, they have to make the decision. Do we buy back and defend this, or do we give up a lane of racks?
Yeah, it's gonna feel so bad to buy back. I don't think he is going to. I think they can defend without it. You just have to commit some kisses. And kisses are free.
The best things in life are free, especially kisses. Double King getting close towards having his Skadi. And, you know, gone are the days where Morphling was an auto-win in this situation. Because even now, he still has to watch his positioning in the midst of these team fights. They're going to try smoke up again, though. Simply 2-base. Last time around that they did this, they found a very poor fight. But if at first you don't succeed, try again. Nico comes across Mark. Mark, will he get caught? Yes, he will. Hexed up almost instantly. There's going to be the arena. This kill will happen for sure. Dawnbreaker will come in with the Solar Guardian, but might only be coming in to her death. They do not have a basher, though, on the side of Simply 2-base. And Aaron doesn't yet have the Daedalus or anything of its ilk available, so they don't have the raw right-click to kill her. But that's still a dead Ember Spirit. 60 seconds in the grave with no buyback when played.
Yeah, he bought out for some reason. So this, I think this is gonna be a set of racks for 2-based. Like this Morphling hits like a truck. Look at this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, there used to be a tier 3 in this mid lane.
There are no creeps though.
Has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Let's see what they can do here. Tooth. Oh, big jump onto Aaron. They almost killed the Morphling, but they messed up their timing. Chaotic Offering came out too soon, or too late rather. And the Avalanche does not get comboed into. Unfortunately, they will end up wasting a Chaotic Offering, but it's better than losing out on a lane of racks. So one team commits Morty's Kisses, the other team commits Offering. All is balanced in this world here, Wingblade. 35 minutes in, it's only a 1k gold lead. Anybody's game still at this point in time.
Yeah, it's been a really close game so far. Very happy to see it. When I saw the Lifestealer up against the Morphling, I was worried for a moment, but they are proving, Happy Seals, that anything is possible. This is Dota. Mice
Smoke
getting
here from
close to a
Simply 2-base.
refresher as well.
They
To
already
be-
have a refresher on the Zeus, so they have the double Thunder God's Wrath. They don't have Aghanim Scepter just yet, so no Nimbus Cloud for them. But let's see what kind of fight they can find here. Nico, he's the one leading the charge, wants to find somebody. Big Thunder God's Wrath. They got the Hex out onto the Dawnbreaker. They get the Spider Legs through. Do they have enough damage to kill her? Second Thunder God's Wrath does come out, and there's the necessary damage, so they do find the kill. Atuf leading the team away on a merry little chase towards the northern part of the map. So this is away from the rest of his squad. And this poor Salacious Sea Lion wasn't even involved in the primary fight, just died to raw magic damage coming in from afar, Wingblade.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, 2 Thunder God's Wraths, and then a single Adaptive Strike was all it took.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Aaron now has himself a Satanic. It feels like this Morphling shouldn't be able to die.
You say that. You say that. Didn't you also just say that anything is possible in Dota?
Yeah. True. So he cannot die and he can die all at the same time.
Radiant are scanning.
A superposition of death states for the Morphling, lol. Schrodinger's Morphling, that's what's happening in this situation. Roshan is about to respawn, so if he really doesn't want to die, it would behoove him and his team to pick up the Aegis. And with the big man online, they can get Aegis and a shard for free in this situation. They can do quite a lot of damage to him. And I don't think Happy Seals are in a position to just easily move out onto the map. So it feels like it would be difficult for them to get to the pit. They've now scouted it out. Imperium's like, boys, come on. I've got maxed out low shredder. I've got the shard. Let's go. Let's take this out. And they should be able to get it. But here comes Happy Seals. You don't want to let this go for free here, Wingblade.
But
What do you
there
think
is a
about this
golem.
fight?
Seals need to beeline straight for the Roche. If they walk around, it's
They're not
gonna
gonna
be
make
too
it.
late.
Yeah, it's too late. Roshan went by too quickly, but they might still try and take the fight afterwards. Let's see how confident they feel in themselves. The Tooth trying to get the full wrap around here. Maybe there's a support or two that's
They
not
kill
positioned
Afro,
well, and that
that's
support
really
will be
nice.
Afromush. Afromush will get jumped on, and that's going to be a quick kill onto the Zeus. However, Team 2-based have done the job. It's simply 2-based because they've gotten this Roshan, and they feel strong enough that they might still want to come for the fight here. Atuf gets himself caught inside the arena. Solar Guardian will be there with the Morty's Kisses flying in as well onto both the Tiny as well as the Dawnbreaker on the other side of the fight. Nico getting riced down by the Double King. he will end up losing his life here. At the same time, he's now found the Smurfling. Can he dish out the necessary damage? Fire Snap Cookie, keeping Aaron alive for now. They really try to chase this forward as Mark has the BKB active on the other side of the fight. Couldn't find enough damage though, and Mark might end up dying. Gets to the low ground. Beautiful remnant plays, but Aaron says, no, you are gonna die, my friend, bringing him down to make it 4 heroes killed in the midst of this fight. Yeah, you killed Nico, but at a very, very heavy cost to yourselves. Simply TOOBASED will now have the full freedom here to finish what they started through this mid lane and claim the opening lane of Rax.
And Aaron still has his Aegis. I have no idea what they're gonna do about this Morphling problem. Was a valiant attempt to shut him down, but ultimately it doesn't look like it's gonna be enough.
Just waiting for the jugular here. Lifestealer does come in, dealing quite a bit of damage onto Aaron, but unfortunately with the Satanic, just pops it. Also has a Daedalus to his name now as well, so more than enough damage to stand his ground. They might not be able to go for the full jugular here, but they will claim 2 lanes of Rax, unless some miracle can be made by the Happy Seals. Aaron, just so strong on the Smurfling. What can this Lifestealer do? Between himself and Mark, they're trying their most, but Mark now gets pinned to the wall, doesn't have access to the BKB, getting a right-click down, will get some salvation thanks to the Infest. That will buy him some time. Simply TOOBASED will walk away now that there's a buyback from the Tiny. Aaron falling very, very low. Does still have the Aegis, but will pop his first life. Not so sure they have the setup for the second one. No Chaotic Offering. There is a Shiva's Guard out, but Aframush will also be there to throw in the Thunder God's Wrath and a Lightning Bolt. So they can't keep this chase going. And Simply TOOBASED might come in for the second round of this fight. Might decide that it's worth it to stick around for the Rax. Let's see what Aaron can do here. Throwing in the right clicks onto the melee Rax. Where's the catch? Tib jumping in. BKB active with the Starbreaker. Can they get enough damage out onto Aaron? No, they cannot. Just waveforming away. He is going to be alive right now. Tib might not be as lucky. Went way too far forward. Does not have access to buyback anymore, nor does Atuf. If he dies here, needs to be so careful. And Aaron will make sure that that is the case. Double King now caught inside the arena. Does have access to some fighting tools. BKB at the ready for the Lifestealer. Mark though, his BKB expires. So now it's all on the Double King. Can he do it all alone, Wingblade? Him against the world. The damage is coming in and they're going to deny him the world. But no, the 4-staff, he still has allies somewhere. They keep him alive for now. Also Infest inside Salacious Sea Lion to deny them the X-Marks pullback. But they do not have access to 2 of their cores nor their Tiny. Double King, if he can't force them away here and now, they might just lose the game. Heads up. Salacious Sea Lion will die to Aaron. At the same time though, his Chaotic Offering buys the necessary space for them to kill the Smars. But now that there's no more Rage, no more BKB, no more options, Double King will get hexed and killed. Buys back immediately. Still trying to hold onto this game. 70 seconds away from getting the Semper Spirit available. Aaron, can he fight the man fight? Heads up against the Lifestealer. He does not care. Just standing his ground. And they just look at him and they say, well, we know you can't do anything. We're going to turn our attention towards the Ancients instead. Nico will seal the deal by ensuring they kill the Lifestealer, but it didn't matter. It was over regardless. GG, well played, is called. It's Simply TOOBASED claim game number 1 in this relegation scrap. And so far, they are still looking good for staying in the division.
Yeah, I